So my name is Sammy Strent. I just graduated with a bachelor's in music from the University of Miami, Frost School of Music in Florida, where I studied music composition, and I really enjoyed my experience there. I think I was a student from like 6th grade in middle school until I was approaching junior year of high school. So I did the pre-professional program. I did the junior theater festival that we did in the winter, so like our winter productions, and then I also did classes, like fall classes, spring classes throughout the year. We did Thoroughly Modern Millie, which was really fun. We did Into the Woods, Legally Blonde, and then also I just remember doing lots of fun like reviews and stuff and spotlight performances with the pre-pro program. So I remember doing Into the Woods, Legally Blonde, Thoroughly Modern Millie, and I feel like I did something else, but I know that we did a bunch of like spotlights and reviews and stuff also as part of the pre-pro program, which was super fun. So I first met Miss Corey when I was doing the pre-professional program. She was one of the managers there. It was really awesome to get to work with her as she was kind of like, running the pre-professional program. And then it's also really awesome to have her here being in charge of all the staff. And it's just really cool to be able to see that relationship with her on both sides of it. I mean, it's definitely a different experience and really cool to get to like build that relationship with her on both sides of it. I think when I was a student, I remember her being like really supportive and really organized and like explaining us, when we have to be places, where we have to be, and like being really on top of our schedule. And then I feel the exact same way as a staff member here, like really supportive, super knowledgeable about what she's doing and like answers all of our questions, and obviously has a lot of experience with adventure theater. My summer is going great. Yeah, this has been really fun, and I've really enjoyed getting to work with all these kids, and honestly it's going by like super fast, faster than I would have expected. Two of the campers, we had like a fake wedding that they set up, and we had it in the theater, and we had like wedding music and like a dance party, and it was just really fun to have that kind of nice moment in the camp. It was hilarious. For sure, yeah, so I want to be a music director full-time as my career, and this I feel like is giving me really great hands-on experience because I'm getting to spend the entire day working as a music director, so I'm getting that hands-on experience. I'm getting to work with all different aged kids, and I'm getting to do it in an environment that's really safe with people that I trust and people that I actually grew up training with, so I feel like it's kind of a win-win. So I'm music directing for Wing It, which is a really fun show, and then No Strings, which is the story of Pinocchio. I was like totally the theater nerd, theater kid, as a lot of us were in middle school and high school, and then going into college, I kind of took like a little break from theater. I decided I was going to focus on music more, but coming back to this camp this summer has really like made me rekindle like my passion and love for theater, and I'm trying to like take what I learned from music from college and bring it into what I had learned previously with adventure theater, and it's just really fun to like kind of put everything all together. Yeah, I think mainly the stuff that I learned in pre-pro, the things that helped me the most in college was just life skills, like being organized and time management, and being responsible and showing up on time. And I think those were honestly probably the most valuable things that I learned there. I think that if you're interested in anything from a young age, you should take that extra step and go ahead and train in it or learn more about it. And you can always say later on, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, or hey, I want to take a break, but it's always good to just try something that that you're personally passionate about.
Fantastic.
Yeah, my advice for someone who's thinking about pre-pro would be, if you know that you love theater and you want to continue doing it, then it's a great idea to start training and to start taking classes, not only because it will help you as an artist, but you'll also meet lots of people, you'll make lots of friends, and maybe later on you'll be able to become a camp counselor and be with those same friends. So it's just kind of like a nice full circle moment. Fun, crazy, rewarding. Sorry, I'm just gonna think.
You're thinking.
I'm gonna think for a second. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I touched on this, but like, if you have any career aspiration in theater, like, I don't think there's any reason why you shouldn't just try something, try a class, try a voice lesson, try a camp, because if you don't like it, you can always not do it. It's not like just because I'm here now, it's like a full, 10-year commitment. It's only if you are really passionate about it. So I would just encourage anyone who's even remotely interested to like try it.
So hi, my name is Gabby Vitta. I am currently studying early childhood and special education at Juniata College, and I'm going to be a senior this year in college. I was a student at Adventure Theater from around 2016 to around 2021. That's how long I was in pre-pro, but I did the summer camp the year before that, the summer musical theater training program. I did that in the summer of 2016, and that made me fall in love with it, and I auditioned for pre-pro and stayed there for 5 years until I graduated high school. It was just a really welcoming environment, so summer camp was really fun, and it made me join pre-pro because I really loved everyone there, the teachers, the students. It was a lot of fun, and I just had a great time, and I really felt like at place there. It feels amazing to come for full circle and be a counselor here because I am studying education, so it feels really perfect. I was so involved here for so many years, so it feels awesome coming back and being a counselor here and watching over these students and getting to apply it to my career as well. It's really great. Yeah, I think there's a lot of skills that I can apply from pre-pro to college. I learned a lot about leadership, especially going on my 5th year. I was the one that had been there the longest. I was the oldest one, so I really learned some leadership skills there that year. And Adventure Theater was also really great at providing me opportunities related to my career. So I assisted with a lot of the younger kid classes for a couple years and was a CIT here for 3 years before turning 18 and becoming a counselor. So that's all helped me in what I'm studying in college and what I'm going to do after I graduate.
Cool. Just what is a CIT?
Oh yeah. So a CIT is a counselor in training. So that is where former Adventure Theater students, after they age out of camp, they can come back and be a CIT, a counselor in training, and assist the counselors, help out with the kids. It's a lot of fun. I was never a student here at the summer musical theater camp because I was too old when I came to Adventure Theater, but I knew that I wanted to teach. So being a CIT was the perfect option for me. I did it for 3 years. I would have done it for 4 if it weren't for COVID. And it was a lot of fun, and I had a great time. And I just knew the second I turned 18, when I could, I would work here, and I am now. Summer camp is going really well. It's my first time being director, and especially going into my senior year of college. It's really helped me to get these skills leading a group of kids, especially around the age that I want to go into teaching. And it's been really fun. So a couple fun moments. Last session was absolutely amazing. We had, I believe it was a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old who got married. They came to camp, and I think it was the Tuesday of the last week of camp. They announced to everyone that they were dating, and then the Thursday they announced that they were engaged. And then they came up to camp on Friday, or on Thursday they were planning with everyone in the cast. They had a full sheet of paper with who would be involved in what. And then Friday they came to camp. Kids brought flowers, kids brought dresses, kids brought pretend rings. The parents even got involved. And the kids were so involved to the point where when we were waiting to get the kids in the morning, they were doing the classic, "Don't let him see her, don't let him see her," when we were down the hill. It was really fun. It's one of my favorite moments. It's just adorable, and I love working with the youngest, so it was really, really fun.
Oh my God.
Corey was at the academy when I was doing pre-pro, so I know her very well, and it's awesome being a little more equal to her now rather than being like a student under her. I've learned a lot of fun stories from when I was a student that have kind of enlightened things, and it just feels cool working with the same people that I saw when I was a kid and now I'm an adult working here. Yeah, I do think about the fact that I will be a person for these kids that I looked up to. It's crazy. I hope that it does happen because I had a wonderful experience and I love working with kids, so I'd love for that to happen. So pre-pro was a great experience. I was in it for as long as I could until I graduated high school. It informed my decision to become a camp counselor just because it was so much fun. And I was with Adventure Theater for so long. I knew that I would want to be a counselor because they had given me so many opportunities and I wanted to give back, and it's really fun, and I love being a counselor here, and it just felt like the perfect next step after graduating. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things training in musical theater and in pre-pro and at adventure theater that I can take into my career. I can take the skills of working with kids. I can take the skills of great teachers. I had some amazing teachers in my time in pre-pro that I really loved, so I want to think about them when I become a teacher and just kind of be a little bit of each person and combine them into one great person. And just the people that I looked up to during my time here. My advice for students beginning pre-pro is just to enjoy it. It's really fun, it's a great time. Soak up every moment of it, take every opportunity, do everything related to pre-pro, and you will get so much out of it. It will be an amazing experience, and it will really help your life no matter what you do. In 3 words, I would describe summer camp as exciting, unexpected, and fun.
My name is Maya Bester. I'm going to Boston University, go Terriers, and I'm studying acting. I did the summer camp when I was in 4th grade, 5th grade, and 6th grade, and I did pre-pro in 2018 and 2019. It is like a full circle moment because this was my favorite camp when I was little, so it's nice to like be a part of it now for younger kids and just help them like discover stuff about theater the same way that I did. Just because it was my first exposure to theater, like it kind of opened the gateway for me, and I was able to learn a bunch of really cool stuff. I feel like this is a really good place to start because it's still like half a summer camp. You know, we like do activities and we hang out and we bond, but we also learn like theater terminology and etiquette and that type of deal. Yeah, it's good. It's fun. This was my first exposure to adventure theater, and I was like, this is like the place for me, you know? Like I really liked the teachers. I liked the vibes. Yeah, like, yes, for sure. I've learned so much about kids, you know, and just how they function, and also about how to teach kids theater. And like, you don't think about this when you're, you know, getting a college or high school level education, but you really do have to go back to the basics with the little guys and really, you know, help them out. And that's so important because I still remember the basics from when I was a camper. So it's like just good stuff to teach and to know. I'm gonna go ahead and say the wedding. The wedding was awesome. We had 2 campers get married, and that was a session that I was stage managing, so I got to go up in the booth and do like bat mitzvah lighting for it because they had a dance party after, and I remember a lot of kids saying like, best day ever! They were like running around, and it was so cute. I don't know, well, the most important thing for me when I was younger was like sparking the love of acting and the love of theater, which I definitely feel like this place did. And then as a counselor, it's always just good to know how to work with kids and be comfortable working with kids. So like, that's great. And it's good to know, to be like, you know, really, really familiar with the process of putting a show together and knowing how to teach that and just like having as much practice with it as possible. And it's really fun to perform for kids. Like that's something that I learned during our counselor talent show. And it was like a lot of fun. Me and Mr. Sammy wrote a song. And so we did that, and then I also performed Notice Me Horton from Seussical, which was like fabulous. It was really nice because I feel like performing for kids is harder. So when it feels like you earn the laughs and the smiles, and that just makes me feel really good. I can honestly say, and this is not because y'all are paying me because I'm doing an interview, without adventure theater, I would not be doing what I'm doing. Because without that like early exposure, I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't have an interest in it. And I wouldn't, without having such a good early exposure with people who I felt really like comfortable around and inspired by and all of that stuff, especially in pre-pro, like do pre-pro. Pre-pro's the best. I would not be doing what I'm doing. My favorite class at pre-pro was acting. I was like, because I you know, I love to sing and I love to dance, but at the same time I was like, acting just feels like my home base. It feels like kind of the thing that brings everything in theater together because of the story. And so being able to really dive deep into like how to tell a story and embody a character was really exciting and fun, and like invigorating for me. And once you have that feeling, it kind of carries with you, you know, especially for us creatives. So I was like, I got to keep doing it. And I just decided I want to keep doing it until I die. So now I'm here. Yes, like honestly, it's good to have a good example of what good teaching looks like, which especially because the pre-pro teachers are teaching a similar age to the age that I teach at camp. So it's good to like have that example and see how they break it down, and then, you know, use that in my teaching. Do pre-pro. It's really fun. You'll make a lot of friends. And it's like, I don't know, I just like I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if not for pre-pro. It's one of those things that like it helps you get through being a teenager. It's just a lot of fun. Fun, crazy, Beyonce. I think it was just meeting kids that had the same interest as me, and that I felt like we were on the same plane and the same wavelength, because it's hard being a theater kid, like especially, you know, when you're that age. It's because a lot of people at school like don't feel the same way about it, or aren't as passionate about it, or maybe your school program isn't as great as you'd like it to be. So just having like a place to go to where there's really excellent quality of teaching and like really talented kids is really nice and refreshing.
Yeah, so my name is Bridget. I go to James Madison University and I'm studying theater education. I'm going to be a junior. I was a student from 2019 to 2022 until I graduated, and then I've worked here since 2022. So I did the pre-professional program. I did the open calls going into like the COVID times, and then I did like preparation for college pre-screens, and then now I'm here at summer camp. It felt really good to work where I trained because it's a good launch pad for my career as an educator. Having this connection already in the DMV is really valuable to me. It's a good place to learn and experiment with what I'm learning in my classes. So it's really valuable because Miss Corey Bales, she was the Academy Program Manager while I was a student, and now she's my boss, and she's such a great connection to have. Love her.
What do you
Shout
feel
out.
like?
Shout out.
You should do that like clean, just one.
Oh yeah, shout out Miss Corey. I learned from Corey responsibility. I learned to be on time is to be late, but especially just like her communication skills that she has and how great she is with the students one-on-one. I feel like that to me with her when I was a student has really translated today. Seeing her in action and then trying to replicate that with the students is priceless. Summer camp is great. It is hot. I'm here for sessions 1 through 4. We did some choreography for Fee Fi Fo Fum with the oldest children, and it was awesome. And I've been directing for the first time this session, doing no strings. I have about, I think I have some 6th graders, and then 5th, and then a little bit of 4th graders. I'm looking to teach 5th grade, 4th and 5th grade, and then high school and above. My favorite memory from camp is we had one child who refused to call it a dress rehearsal because she was not wearing a dress, she was wearing a t-shirt. So it is a t-shirt rehearsal if you wear a t-shirt, and it's a skirt rehearsal if you wear a skirt, and it's a dress rehearsal if you wear a dress. I would say pre-pro influenced me to dance in college, so I've actually taken up a dance minor and I'm on a dance club, so that's become a big part of my life, and I definitely do want to teach dance on the side. I didn't think I could do that before pre-pro, and my sophomore year when I joined, that was actually my first real ballet class, so that was awesome experience. Shout out Tony Thomas. I think it's important to take the classes at the academy so that you can understand the relationship of the educational theater world to the professional world, like having the connection here to see Knuffle Bunny and to, produce your own show and work on your own props at camp, stuff like that. Just seeing that connection there is really valuable and like a safe environment to experience it. So my advice for a pre-pro student is to come to your audition with material that shows who you are and not who you think we want to see. Yes, I do see myself in some of these kids. I have one child who said, I want to make it to Rockville so then I can go to Broadway, and I just thought that was really funny. So yes, we told her the Bridge to Broadway program would be great. If I could describe Adventure Summer Camp in 3 words, let me grab this first. If I could describe...
You have to do it, that's too good.
This is part of the bit, I hope you know. So if I could describe Adventure Theater Summer Camp in 3 words, it would be hot, t-shirt, rehearsal, and magic. I would say that I knew I was in the right place at Adventure Theater because Tony Thomas, teaching me dance, adequately challenged me, but then pushed me to where I didn't think that I could go somewhere. So entering pre-pro, not thinking of myself as a dancer, and now that being my main thing in terms of the musical theater realm is just such a beautiful experience that I didn't think would ever happen to me. Being on the other side of it, being a counselor, I totally feel like I'm in the right place, especially because, you know, I get to work at this camp for a certain amount of sessions with like a certain amount of kids for a shorter amount of time, really like testing the waters of different age groups. I feel like that's super valuable. I was with, you know, upper 6th grade, and now I'm going to 1st and 2nd next week. So just like experimenting as an educator with that is like awesome.
Hi, my name is Jamila Boston. I recently just graduated from Spelman College, and I graduated with a major in dance performance and choreography, so I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts. I did the Pre-Professional program, and I did that for about 2 to 3 years, and then I did some of the summer MTC programs at the Rockville Winter Green Plaza location. Kind of now I'm able to see what it is like on the admin and the counselor side versus a kid side. So I feel like because I was here as a kid, now it's easier for me to communicate to them what it means to be on this stage, what it means to talk to their teachers, how it is to ask their questions politely to make sure we have a great dialogue. She was over our program at the time, so usually at the beginning of the day or the end of the day I would talk to Miss Corey about whatever was going on, and then sometimes I came to classes and rehearsals a little bit earlier, so I just chatted with her before then. When it comes to how to speak to children and how to handle our relationship inside when we're in rehearsal versus when we're at lunch or when we're at recess, I think Miss Corey has definitely showed me the balance in that. And also just being able to see her transformation of who she is in Adventure Theater also teaches me how I can transform myself here. I personally loved it. I love the schedule of it. It kind of worked for me as a high schooler and middle schooler. Summers were definitely my favorite, with getting to go to Broadway and getting a trip to New York, and especially with different groups of people, but also with teachers who I adored and looked up to. And just seeing their connections to Broadway, because sometimes we would have talkbacks with the actors that they knew. So just being able to talk to them and knowing, hey, my teacher grew up with them, or hey, my teacher was there with them during this process, made me feel comfortable to talk to them about the process I wanted to go through forward. My senior year, which sadly was cut short because of COVID, I assisted choreographed with Mr. Tony Thomas, who is still here, with Mary Poppins Jr. that we got to do on the stage 4 years ago. And assisting him in choreographing is what got me to wanting to choreograph myself. So when applying to the schools and getting accepted into Spelman and other schools that had to do with dance, it definitely felt like that was my answer to what I was supposed to be doing. I would say the artistic side, I have been more able to know how to know the balance between what I'm supposed to do and then how I add myself into it as well. And then kind of like the fundamental and management side, I think because I am now part of the admin and a counselor here, I can kind of see how to run a business and how every little person is an intricate and important part of the process, and how with communication and respect we can get a lot of stuff done, and knowing when to just be myself and be open to anything that happens. My advice would be, when in the classrooms, whether you're in a music classroom and you love music, maybe the next time you're in dance class, pay a little bit more attention, and vice versa. I think now, being where I am now, I adored my dance classes as a dance major, but I kind of do wish that in my music classes, I asked more questions and I kind of opened myself up to being more, or acknowledging that I wasn't as knowledgeable as my peers to music. So with that in hand, I could have been more open to asking more questions and being open to get down to the nitty gritty with my teachers, which they were more than happy to do. I just think I was afraid to do. So I feel like not being afraid in those spaces that you feel uncomfortable with, to go for it. Also with my peers, I think, everyone from Pre-Pro has in my summer MTC times has a special place in my heart. So I think holding on to those bonds, especially with working my counselors now, we've all come from a range years of pre-pro. So just being able to connect with them and telling them about other pre-pro students and other teachers we've had has really felt like an arc and like you said, full circle moment. Oh, definitely. I was just talking to a couple of my peers about how some of us would just leave and just go get some Starbucks and across the street and then study our lines or sit there and just talk about what we had to do for school, hang out outside of school. And then again, when we would go to New York, I felt like that was just us in our own little hub. Oh, I'm getting to go to New York with my friends. So that was definitely some of my favorite moments growing up. Summer camp is going really fun. I love my group of students. I'll say my first time as a counselor at Glen Echo, it was during COVID. So now coming back after COVID, I feel more connected to my kids than I did then, which I'm very thankful for. And just seeing the growth in these kids and just seeing how they really want to do it, I very much admire them for that. And it makes me very excited about what the future of Broadway looks like. I loved my counselors at the Wintergreen Plaza, and I used to always hear about Glen Echo's location with the younger kids. And because Wintergreen is very much mostly us older teens, I was like, well, I kind of want to see how it is to work with the younger kids. And being here also gave me the opportunity to be sitting in this room right now on the stage. And I think that's very much fun for the kids and seeing them get in their costumes. And I don't know, working with younger kids, I really love. And so being a summer camp counselor, I think worked with my schedule more at the time before I graduated. So that allowed me to be a counselor here, especially because I only live 15 minutes away. So it was very much close to where I needed to be. So yeah. One of my favorite memories, I would say from this session has to be Mr. Sammy, who's our music director, often sings with the kids up and down the hill. And my kids often sing the most against the other cast, which isn't because they don't want to sing. It's more of just my kids are so loud and so happy in the morning and when they leave to sing their songs. And I think my favorite part is that Mr. Sammy doesn't have to do it all the time. They'll just start on the walks. And when they're coming up the hill or they're going down the hill, they know, okay, we're going to sing this song and we're going to sing that song. And that just makes me happy as a counselor because that means, you know, you like what you're doing. And most of the time when we are announcing that it's time to go home, they're like, oh, like, no, like we don't get to run the show again or anything like that. And I'm like, no, it's time to go home. So I think that's my favorite, knowing that they want to be here. I definitely felt that way. Some days I felt like I was a little bit more tired than usual closer to the show, just because you're just running it. But I think I very much like to learn. I'm very much of a hands-on and in-person contact, physical contact learner. So being here and getting the opportunity, I think, made me just want to keep being here. Yeah. So right now I'm choreographing for our younger group, which is 1st to 3rd graders, and we're choreographing Wing It. We have about 6 numbers. So we actually completed it all on Monday, which would have been 5 days that we've had camp that we got to complete it because of 4th of July. So it was a big surprise to me, considering I've worked with kids all the way up to the day before to get their show finished, and they finished it in 5 days and they wanted more. So we added more. Energetic, opening, and bright. Well, before my first summer, I was introduced to Adventure Theater by a friend of mine, Stephen Molina, who was here for a couple of years. He just told me to come to the summer camp, see how I liked it, because he was going into pre-pro. And I really enjoyed it, so I trained or was in a space where I was like, okay, I'm going to get ready to audition for the next year. And once I entered and started taking the classes, I noticed that the teachers weren't catering to just a small group of people, but we were all taken care of. Especially when they saw that we were passionate about something. So for me, it was really dance. So my dance teachers and me asking them questions, or me wanting to ask stuff after class, I didn't feel like I was a bother. I felt more like they respected my questions and they wanted to hear from me, and they knew I wanted to learn. So because I wanted to, they were willing to work with me on it. And even just being able to assist choreographed at the age of 17 for a show that's going to be produced in a well-known space and with other people who aren't related to me or related to my cast being able to come see, and them asking me showed me that, oh, like, you guys know what I want to do. So just being known as well, like, you see what I have, but even though I see it, I don't know if you do. So them just doing it out of the kindness of their heart and just doing it made me feel like, okay, yeah, like, I like it here. I just wanted to share how I ended up here for this session. I now am relocated in Atlanta, Georgia. So I was there and actually on my graduate trip in Jamaica, and Miss Corey had posted something on the Facebook page, and it was just a piece of the costumes for one of the groups here now. And I didn't think anything of it. I had just ended up liking it when Miss Gabby, who is my Pre-Pro alum friend, reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to come back and teach for a session. And I was like, oh, really? Like, okay. Like, I guess I'll come home. And I came home, and just seeing all of them here and just knowing that I got to work with people I haven't seen pre-COVID was really heartwarming. And that reminds me again of why I like to be here and why I want to continue coming back.